Hey guys, welcome back. So in this part I'm going to finish up WitchyWorld for now. Obviously it won't be the full level because it is a really big level like most of them in this game, but I'm going to take a break from it after I've done what I'm going to do here and go and do some other levels for a while. So the last thing I did was take care of Mr. Patch, and the only other thing that I want to really do is some stuff in the western zone. So this is a kind of interesting puzzle. Naturally, you would think to just ground pound it, and that is sort of true. It's not enough, so you have to do a special ground pound like this. And when I was younger, I could never figure out what the third thing was, but it's actually just a grenade egg for some reason. I mean, you would think it would just destroy the thing, but whatever. So just climb up here. And there's actually another purpose to coming up here other than getting the jiggy. There's a Jinjo over there. You can't really see him, but he's in that little thing there. And you're supposed to just climb on that door and shimmy along. And I could do that, but it's slow and boring. I'd much rather do this. If I just jump off, then jump off again, and this time roll, jump, and flutter, and then ground pound. I can just barely make it up, and that's the yellow family complete as well, which is always nice. An extra jiggy for me. So a couple of notes here, I'll pick these up just before I go in so I don't forget. So we're going to take advantage of the splitting up thing for the first time right now. A couple of puzzles in here that need it. There's the other kid. I'll just need to try and remember where all of them are because I'm going to come back and get them all later. I don't understand why he didn't give me a honeycomb. Is it because I've got full health right now? That could be it. So you just stand on that and press A, and now I'm Banjo, and of course he has to talk to me. Before I do anything else, I need to learn how to attack as Banjo, because for some reason, when you split them up, they don't know how to attack. Oh yeah, that's a Minjo, like a fake Jinjo that tries to attack you. So, there's going to be a lot of them. I think this is the first time in the game that you see one, even if you're playing normally. I don't think there's any in the first two levels. But anyway, so the move that I just learned is the Pack Whack, which is just Banjo's B move. It just does this. Just pretty pointless, it's really slow, but the good thing about it is that you can jump out of it, and a side effect of that is that if you do a jump and then do it, you can jump out of that, which effectively gives you a double jump. If you press B and A rapidly, it just looks like a double jump, and this, I would say, is obviously not intentional. I wouldn't call it a glitch really, just sort of clever abuse of mechanics, I guess, and it actually helps quite a lot, so I'm going to be using that all over the place. But it's something that everybody sort of finds on their own. It's really not difficult to find at all. So I'm kind of expecting half of the comments to be about people discovering that on their own, which is cool, because it is useful and it does make the game more fun, I think. So there's a lot of switches like this in the game where you have to stand on one as each of the characters, and the challenge usually lies in how you would get to the place as each of the characters, because it would usually be a different route. This one obviously is very simple because it's the first one, but this inflates the castle, and there's a couple of jiggies inside that I can go and take care of right now. Not actually going to use that spring pad at all. There's other ways to get on top of it which are really easy. So Kazooie can't actually attack right now. I'll learn how to do that with her in the next level, but for now she's pretty useless in that regard. But it's not an issue. I do like how fast she moves when she doesn't have Banjo on her back, which makes sense, but yeah. So there was a picture of BK on the other door, which means I have to be both of them to do that one. So this is the first time I've done a game like this in this playthrough, and it's just the usual stuff. I'm not going to listen to the rules, I'll just explain it myself because she takes forever. You just have to do a bunch of things where you have to go through red, green and blue objects, or shoot them, or jump through them, or whatever it is. And the red ones are worth 1, the green ones are worth 2, and the blue ones are worth 3. And the blue ones are usually the hardest to hit because of that. And it's really, like, repetitive, honestly. There's quite a lot of this in the game. They reuse this tactic all over the place. In fact, the other puzzle in here is also like this. Not the exact same game, but similar. And none of them are really difficult as well. That's kind of like the worst part. But whatever, you only have to get 30, so I'm going to show off something else right now. Just get rid of the running shoes. If you just shoot eggs out backwards against this wall, you actually collect them before they disappear again or something. I don't really know how it works, but as you can look at my egg count, it's actually increasing. So I'm just going to use this time to get it up to 100. Okay. So I'm just going to wait next to the wall. I should have probably just tried to get as high of a score as I could, but like I said, the game isn't particularly interesting, so I think that egg thing was more important. And of course she's going to ask me if I want to play it again. They always ask you this, and I can't understand why anyone would ever want to play these again. I mean, they're just so easy and pointless. Anyway, I'm going to kill myself now. This will quickly take me back to Banjo, and the interesting thing is that it doesn't take you back to like the pump room. It puts both of us back at the split up pad, which is actually even better for me. So I can just head inside and take care of the other room now. And like I said, this is pretty much the same sort of thing. It's a different game. Obviously I'm in the air, and this one is about shooting balloons down. Same thing applies. Green's worth 3, green's worth 2, sorry, blue's worth 3, and red is worth 1. You can just pretty much hold Z or Z if you like, and just run around like this and try and hit everything that you see. I guess this one's a little harder because you need to hit 50, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm now fully expecting to screw this up. That's one thing I learned from my previous playthroughs, is that whenever I say something's easy, it pretty much means that I'm going to fail it, because I just cannot catch a break with that stuff. Not a lot of blue ones today. Usually there's more than this. I think this challenge would actually be really hard if it didn't give you infinite eggs. If you had to sort of manage it and be careful with where you shot them, it'd probably be really bad. Alright, if I can get one more green or blue. Alright, we're safe. So I'm not going to bother getting any more. I'm just going to go next to the door, because that's where I'm going to go as soon as it lets me. So that's the second jiggy out of here. There's nothing else I need to do inside the inflatable castle, so I can just go out and collect both of them. Once again, she'll ask if I want to play. Obviously, I don't. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to use the shock spring pad to get on top of this. There's a much quicker and simpler way. When you come back outside, if you just do a backflip and then hold backwards, you just land on this little thing. I just want the camera to turn around so I can actually see what I'm doing. And just backflip again. Oops. Okay, so yeah, it really is crazy how much time, like, not having a little dance after every jiggy saves. It really adds up. I'm gonna restock on these. And I'll just need to remember that that kid is in there. I think I know where the other two are. I think one of them's in the space zone, and the other one is next to Mumbo, I believe. Or if it's not next to Mumbo, it's next to that, like, high voltage place at the start. Or whatever it is, I'm not going to deal with them right now. I'll come back and do that. So the last thing I want to do in WitchyWorld for the moment is I want to go and transform into the van again. Because there's one final thing that you need to do is that, which you're not able to do earlier because you need to do something with Mumbo before you can do it. And to get to Mumbo, you need to do something with the van. So unfortunately, as of right now, there's no way to split those up, and you have to do it in 2 separate trips. So the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Dodgem game. I'm not going to actually do the game right now, just going to sort of prepare it for the next time that I come back to the level. I'm just going to double check while I'm here. I'm pretty sure one of the kids is there. Yeah, he's in the back. So this thing is now open because I opened that thing over there with Mumbo. So I can just jump in here and deposit a coin. So, rather than go back to Wumba, I'm just going to save and quit. There's no point in going all the way back and then exiting the level when I can just do this. Especially because the next place that I want to go is back to Spiral Mountain. Which is literally just behind where you start whenever you open your file. So, let's just head straight in. So the reason I'm going back to Spiral Mountain right now is to take care of that boulder that we saw in the very first video. There's something inside it which is going to be really beneficial in the next level. Here's Klungo, still as transparent as ever. There actually are a couple of things to get in Spiral Mountain, but I can't actually get some of them right now, or at least one of them, so I'm going to do a different trip back here later on. I have to be careful, as before, to skip that cutscene trigger. And here's the rock. So you need to pick this fish up. And this trick here, even though it was easy the first time, it's much easier this time because you can just grab this now and pull yourself up. So there's no risk at all for actually activating the cutscene. So I need to deposit him in the water here. I'll try and do it over here while I can stand on land at the same time. Okay, cool. That probably saved a fraction of a second. So it gives you extra bubbles, and these are very useful in the next level because it lets you skip Mumbo. You're supposed to, in the next level, use Mumbo to sort of make the water breathable, because it is a water level and you're swimming for pretty much all of it. But because of this, I've got more air, and he also teaches you how to swim faster. If you just hold in A and B, you move really fast underwater, so not bad. So before I take this warp, I am going to go on top of the red Jinjo house. That is the red one, isn't it? Or is that the red one? I don't know. I actually can't tell the difference between them. I think this is the red one. I could just go inside, probably, but I don't want to. Because there's a treble clef up here, so now I've got that. One thing that I always found really morbid about this game is that they killed off the Grey Jinjo family. When I was a kid, this really upset me actually. I just thought it was so weird for them to do this, because it's just like they never would have done this kind of thing in the first game. I don't know, it's just lame. And there's this sign. They've tried to make it sound funny, but it just really isn't funny at all. So anyway, I'm going to go and open the next level now. So I mentioned earlier that the next level is a water one. Typically in video games, water levels are the worst ones. Some pretty famous examples include, like, maybe Dire Dire Docks from Super Mario 64, or more famously the Water Temple from Ocarina of Time. And I guess Clanker's Cavern from Banjo-Kazooie as well is also pretty lame. But this one actually is really good. It's weird because I think the swimming controls are actually not too bad in this game, and that probably contributes a lot to it. Alright, so I'm just going to focus on the edge pieces, as you should do in any jigsaw. And as soon as I said that, I stopped doing it right away. Oh, come on, I totally didn't press it there. Or there. Like, when I do press it, you just won't put it in. Whenever there's a 50% chance like that I'm going to get it in the wrong one, I always manage to get it in the wrong one. Or whatever, it's no biggie. So this opens the next level. I'm not going to watch this whole cutscene. I'm just going to reset as soon as it shows the next area, because that's the point at which the game autosaves. So there's no need to actually sit through this entire thing. Okay, we can reset now. Probably could have done it a little bit sooner than that, but just nitpicking right now. So one thing you might have noticed is that whenever I do a save and quit from the pause menu, as soon as this thing loads up right now that I'm watching, I can press start to skip it right away. But whenever you do a reset, you have to sit through all this crap. It's kind of annoying that they did that. But I guess there isn't really many instances where you're going to reset in a typical playthrough, so it's no big deal. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is head back to the plateau, because there's a couple of things that I need to get in there, and it's also the entrance to the next part of the game. I think there's a Jinjo in one of the rocks here that I missed earlier, so I can just grab that right now. What one is it? It's another black one. So that's a third of them taken care of. So I'm going to split up if it would let me. I'm going to take advantage of that double jump thing just as a very, very small shortcut here. So before I go and activate that switch as Kazooie, there's actually a couple of things to collect up here. This is Honeybee's Hive. What this is used for is to hand in the empty honeycomb pieces that you pick up, and in exchange you get more life. A couple of reasons I'm not going to do that. It is a 100% run, so I do need to collect all the empty honeycombs, but I'm not going to hand any of them in. The main reason is that I guess it wastes time. No, I didn't mean to do that, damn it. Yeah, it wastes time, and also because there's a lot of like suicide in this run to save time and to save backtracking, it would just take a lot longer and it would take more grenade eggs and whatever if I had more health, so there's no point. I can't believe I screwed that up. That's just such a rookie mistake. Oh, where are you going? Okay. So here's the next area. This is the cliff top. There are 2 levels in here. One of them I'm going to go into very shortly, the other one not until much later in the game. Before I do any of that, I need to activate the train. Or at least open the doors for the train. I think that's all it does, because the train itself is in Glitter Glitch Mine right now, and I haven't done anything with it. Yeah, okay, so this means that when I do get the train active, I can use it to come back here, which is going to be useful in a couple of levels from now. Bit of a risky jump there, I guess. So here's the next set of eggs, the ice eggs. These are pretty useful when you're underwater, and I guess in a couple other places. I hate that there's an enemy down there. I guess they just did that to like show how high up you are or something, but like he's never a threat to you. I think if you jump down there you probably die before you even reach him just because you've hit the void or something. Anyway, one last thing I want to do before I enter this level. There's Mumbo. I'm going to use him a couple of times in the overworld later on, not right now. In fact, I think it's just once you need him. So I'll activate this as a shortcut later, and I'll just jump off right here and hit this switch. This creates a bridge to the next level. Well, not the next level that I'm going to do, but the next level in this area, which is one that I really don't like a lot. But I don't know. Well, half of it's cool and half of it's bad. But whatever, we'll deal with that later on. For now, I'm going to enter Jolly Roger's Lagoon. So, the first thing I'm going to do right away is I'm going to open this thing in the centre, the big chest, because it's going to let me split up. So I need the grenade eggs for that. And I'm just going to go straight to Kazooie, because I can finally learn how to attack with her in this level. But before I do that, I'll open this thing. Oops, that's not a grenade egg. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start collecting these doubloons as well. These are the currency in this level. It's the only level which has something like that. And you do need some of them to get one of the jiggies later on, so I'm going to do that as I'm sort of running about and doing other stuff. You can see there's like an area down there. We can't reach that just yet. And even if I could reach it, I'd be useless in there, so there's no point in even going there. So here's the wing whack. This is actually useful in more ways than one, obviously. For God's sake. It's got to be like the 3rd or 4th bonk I've got in this run. Anyway, it's kind of useful in a few ways. Obviously it is an attack, but it also lets you stay in the air for longer, as I just failed to demonstrate. So that'll let you reach a couple of ledges that you shouldn't reach, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. Just like that. So I'm going to hop in here, because there is something that I want to pick up in here. There's Captain Blubber from the first game. He's a pathetic mess as he was in the first game. Not going to bother talking to him. I think he gives you the running shoes, doesn't he? And that's how you're supposed to get this Jinjo on the ocean, but I'm not going to do that. I've got a much cooler way in mind. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I guess I'm going to collect this doubloon. I'm going to head back to Banjo, actually, because the next thing I want to do requires both of us. And we're going to enter Jolly's pub. I really like this level, like when you're not in the water. The underwater part is really cool too, but I think it's got a really nice atmosphere when you're up here. So this door here, you can blow this up with an egg, and he complains about that for about 10 years. It's weird because this text can't be skipped, but it also can't be sped up. Usually text can be sped up if you just hold the A button down, but that one can't for some reason. So here's an example of what I was talking about earlier, where you get a whole new move for basically something you already know how to do. It's just egg aiming but underwater. So there's a couple of things in here. There's a jukebox, I guess that lets you listen to music. You have to put a doubloon in it though, so I'm not going to waste one. There's the Treasure Trove Cove from the first game. Some stop and swap things over here, and this guy was supposed to be in a rare game, I believe. Like, the game that eventually got turned into Banjo-Kazooie. He was going to be in it. I think he was the villain or something. But anyway. You're supposed to shoot an egg through there into the explosives, and that opens the wall outside. Not necessary. There's a much cooler way to do that. Much simpler as well, actually. But it's going to take a little while before I can do it, so I won't be taking care of that just yet. So I'm actually going to head into the 6th level just for a second, because there's one thing I want to take care of in there, and you can get to it through here. The 6th level, if you've played the game before, you'll know is Grunty Industries, which a lot of people really don't like. I'm not one of those people. I think it is a really good level, one of the best ones in the game actually. As long as you sort of have an idea of where you are and where you want to go, it's actually not too hard to navigate. So I can just hit this switch, and this stops the pollution in Jolly Roger's Lagoon, which is part of the quest for, I guess, helping the little pigs out here. We can hear a Jinjo right now. I think it's a Jinjo, it could be a Minjo, not sure. But I'm not going to take care of that right now anyway. So we stop the pollution, and for some reason the water just goes perfectly clean. Even though there should still be tons of crap in it. But it's no big deal. I think they complain about the water being too hot now. And it's going to be a long time before we do anything about that. Wait, is it too hot or is it too cold? I don't know. I think it's like too cold and then it's too hot. Because I remember there's like 2 things you need to do later on. So I'm holding A and B at the same time. You can see how quickly I'm going. You can also see how much air I have. It's much easier if you go into first person mode when you're underwater. It's just much easier to aim, I find. It's the same with flying actually. Those are both things that I think should have been in the first game, but they weren't. So how many doubloons do I have? Does it tell you in the pause menu? No, it doesn't. Well, as long as I end up with 17, I should be good. That's my goal. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to end up with more than that. So there's a Jinjo over here. As I mentioned earlier, you're supposed to use the running shoes, which for some reason let you walk on water for as long as they last. No need for that. I can do the same thing I did in WitchyWorld, and just jump on here, if it would let me. I think I'm too close to the wall, actually. And then jump away and flutter back, and jump away and flutter in. It's important that you jump away, otherwise, like, he'll just sort of slide down the wall. So I'll pick up these doubloons as well. And that's all I'm going to do on the surface for now. As I mentioned earlier, you're supposed to use Mumbo to make this water breathable. But because of the combination of the double air and the really fast swimming, that's not going to be necessary. So I want ice eggs. I'm going to first person mode. I'm going to head down to Atlantis, which is where the main level is. Or the main part of the level. Did I hit him? Yeah, I did. Cool. So he stays frozen for a couple of seconds, letting you bypass him. So this is quite a big area. There's a lot of cool stuff to explore down here. I really like it. But all I'm going to do for now is come down here and activate this warp. What's a jiggy inside him? See, this is RNG. This is complete randomness. There's like 5 of these fish in the level, and each of them have something in them. And we need to collect 2 of those things, or 3 maybe. I know there's a jiggy, there's a Cheeto page, there might be notes, I can't remember. But anyway, I've activated this warp, which is what I wanted to do. So for now, I'm just going to save and quit. And in the next video, I'm going to come back down here and take care of quite a lot of stuff. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you then.